I'm Paddy Cleary.
I'm Dane Brasher.
And this is the Marmalade Sitzung. This week on the show, the fakest news.
Yes. Don't bite snakes.
Good egg, bad egg. Pavlo V.
If we drown the kitten.
Eat the bag.
Yes. It's all. All right, welcome to the fakest news. We have Paddy here playing the game as per. As you can tell, he is blindfolded just to add that extra challenge to the game. So the way the game works, I give Paddy two headlines. One of them is true, one of them is not. And through intense questioning and deductive reasoning, he'll find his way to the truth. Are you ready, Paddy?
I'm ready. I'm ready as Eddie.
Excellent. Okay, so the first headline, film student wrestles lion for camera, footage wins prize. Second headline, man bites snake, chews off head, revenge for snake bite.
So the man bit off the head of the snake.
That's right, yeah, it wasn't a snake that bit off a man's head. Yeah.
Snake bit man, man bit head off, revenge.
That's the gist of it, yeah.
Same snake? So the snake who bit him was the one he bit off as well?
Yeah, yes.
Right.
Yes,
in the
snake.
same instant, same time frame.
I would assume that it was very close to the original incident.
Right. It wasn't like he went out hunting for him, like the snake bit him and then he spent years...
He developed a whole plot, he hired Liam Neeson.
Yeah, and like he was a child and then he all of a sudden he ended up being in a room with him, the snake was the gangster and that kind of thing. It's nothing like that, it's like it was a
regular snake bit of dude.
It's not like Lucky Number Slevin or anything like that.
No.
Okay, so that can be believable. So I suppose if that, because you I would try and do something to the snake. Maybe, you can't break a snake's neck, can you?
I think it'd be tricky. That's
because they've got one of them.
Sort of the design of the snake.
Yeah, they've got one of their vertebrae, haven't they?
Yeah,
one of them funny ones. Haven't they?
What have they got?
One of their funny vertebrae.
All right.
Exoskeleton. No, that's a jellyfish. Anyway, the first one was the lion film winner. What was that?
That's right. Film student wrestles lion for camera, footage wins prize.
Did he survive?
He survived, yeah. It was...
So he was happy to accept the prize?
Of course, yeah. He was there.
Did he lose any limbs or anything, Greg?
No. It was an easy battle. I was in South Africa. I don't know how intense the wrestle was.
Okay.
He might have chased it and
could have been a little cuddle
out of his mouth. It could have been a cuddle. I don't think that wild lions are big on cuddling.
No. Big paws. Big paws they've got. Like big forward, like them. What are they called?
Oh, big paws. Sorry, I was making a big pause. I thought you. And,
no, like the paw.
The paw of the lion hands.
The fang, not the fang. What are they called?
Claw.
The
claw of the paw.
Yeah, okay. But they can retract them, can't they? Like real cats, like normal cats. Okay.
Probably not relevant to
the story. So, so that's plausible, because I suppose if you wrestle a lion, then you're going to win a prize at a film competition, because, that's probably quite an amazing feat. I suppose, why the fuck are you doing that? That's silly. I wouldn't even, that's stupid.
But I don't think it was a deliberate thing. I think the lion might have...
Well, why was someone filming?
Well, he probably was filming, had the camera, I'm guessing here. I'm not 100% on this. I think he probably had the camera on a tripod, filming, and the lion came up, curious, as cats often are, and took the camera in its mouth and sort of started walking off. Old mate said, "Hey, hang on a second," because it was in South Africa. Hang on a second. And
don't take my camera, man.
Take my camera back, eh?
Don't take my camera, man.
Kiwi. Anyway, he ran after the lion, got the camera back, and the footage let's be fair, the lion shot this footage.
Yeah.
But the human was, of course, the one that's on the award, yeah.
Why did the lion not get the award? I think he should win the award.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
That was horrible.
That's quite plausible. I think the guy's an absolute an idiot. But the other one, I think you
want more details on the second one?
Yeah, so the second one's the snake. So where was that as well? I feel like it's going to be like your neck of the woods, Australia, somewhere like that as well.
You would think that because Australians are idiots.
Yeah,
but no,
fuck you, mate.
You want to bite me? I'll bite you.
Watch you back, mate. fucking year, mate.
Couple of tallies, give it a bite. No, it was
fucking Barbie as well.
It was. I almost hesitate to say this because the accents in this segment have so far been so racist, but it actually took place in India. And it was a farmer.
Okay.
He was unconscious when they found him, took him to hospital, and he told them, bit of snake. And they said, why? He said, well, bit me first.
Bit me first, yeah.
Interesting side note, doctors could not find any bite marks on the human, so
Whoa.
it might have been a completely different
We've
revenge.
actually got quite a bit of backup here, so it's quite hard to believe what's what, because actually I've got valid points on both. I can imagine an Indian farmer being out in the wild and you cunt, I'll have you, bite your head off. And also imagine some crazy South African guy fighting a lion over his camera, because I've met a few South Africans and they're very nice guys, but crazy. Should I go in for an answer?
Yeah, go on. Let's see. What do you reckon? Unless you can think of any questions that might help your decision.
I don't know, because I think you've given me quite a background and they're very legible. Like I think both stories could very possibly have happened. There's idiots in the world who do stuff with wild animals. I should just leave them alone. Snakes in India, fair enough. That's a bit more. Snake I think comes unawares, don't they? Snakes they're kind of in the ground, and a lion you ain't gonna miss. But a snake, they're like shh, they might have you. And I would be you would be agitated if a snake bit you, wouldn't you? And you don't know what you're gonna do. I am gonna go with the story 2, snake.
Is the true or the fake?
Is the true.
The snake story is the true story?
Yes!
It is correct. That is correct, yes. That is the correct story.
Crazy Indian bastard.
He was, farmer was found in his field unconscious. Experts do not know how he survived this. He shouldn't be alive. It happened last year, as far as I know.
What snake was it? Do you know what snake it was?
They said something about a python, which, pythons aren't generally highly venomous, so I don't know why they're so surprised that he's alive.
Indigenous to India?
I think so.
I think that's where they are. Yeah, I think that's right, actually. Yeah, I thought that.
So I think we've all learned something from this, haven't we?
Yes.
Don't bite snakes. So, welcome to my favourite segment of the Marmalade and Sitzung, Good Egg, Bad Egg. We're doing some very important research, as always, trying to assess the quality of eggs. We've got our resident egg tester in tonight, Paddy Cleary.
Hello.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about your history with eggs?
Yes, so my history with eggs is, is tattered, the word? No, not tattered.
You could say it's a tattered history.
It's a tattered history with eggs. I'm looking for a different word. A tattered history. When I was younger, I had a very bad egg experience at Easter. So it's a very traditional thing to do in Austria, to boil eggs, and you eat them for coloured eggs. You've probably seen them in the shops here. And I had a couple of bad ones that my auntie made for me, so I've never had a good history of eggs. And then this is not the first time we've done this research here on this show. So I think last time I had a couple of, good eggs. I'm still happy to do the research, but there was one that was...
It was a spicy egg.
It was interesting. It was a very spicy red. It was very interesting, and I'm also not a big fan of spice.
Yes, okay. Anyway, all of this is just to say that if anyone is qualified to assess the quality of an egg, it's this man right here. So, Paddy, are you ready to begin our research?
I am. Yes, I'm ready.
Is this a good or a bad egg?
This is a good or bad egg. I'll get my little retainer. Okay, consistency looks great. It is melting under my hands, so I will eat it now.
You could say there was quite a surprising element to that egg.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty. Tell us, Patrick, was this a good or a bad egg?
Undecided, Jack.
Undecided.
Yeah, this is when you
Devoured it. Oh, it's a ballerina. Oh, it's an ice skater, I see.
I've got to swallow chocolate. Good egg. Good egg. Good egg.
A good egg.
It's nice to as well, actually. Is that Cinderella?
Are you ready for the second?
Yeah. I am ready for the second egg.
Excellent. Paddy Cleary, is this a good or a bad egg? Is it a good egg, Paddy?
Good egg.
A good egg. Are you ready, Paddy, for your third and final egg?
I'm ready.
Paddy Cleary, is this a good or a bad egg? Was that a good egg, Paddy? Or was that a bad egg?
That was a bad egg.
A bad egg.
Bad egg. Fucking war, you cunt. So, our interview today, who have we got on today, Dane?
We've got Pavlo on today. He's come in, he was a semi-finalist in the So You Think You're Funny competition.
And that's at Berlin.
No, that's in the UK.
I think we've got him, haven't we?
Pavlo, have we got you?
Where are you there, Pavlo?
Well, I want to say, because it's kind of a happy place, but it's in Berlin. It's like in Prenzlauer Berg. It just reminds me of, home, Ukraine, Chernobyl. Except that here I don't need my shotgun. Oh, it's pretty cool.
Cool. So it's like a nuclear fallout zone right here in Berlin.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll invite you guys over here. But
I think we'd like to go.
Pavlo and I did some roast battles. We battled each other. He beat me mercilessly. And he's hosted the show a few times as well. How do you find the roast battle scene breaking out in Berlin?
it's pretty cool that it exists. I wanted to do it for a long time. I was thinking about it. I'm watching a lot of roast battles online. And I wanted, because I think it's fun for the comedians to do that. It's like a really cool show to get together, roast each other. And it's more fun for the comedians with the inside jokes and for the audience maybe sometimes. But since I'm also an overthinker, I'm overthinking everything. I want to be everything perfect. So I just met this guy called Dragos. He just came to Berlin on his third hour of being in Berlin. He already started doing it. I was like, cool, now I can join and just do some roasting. Yeah.
So he doesn't fuck around that.
Yeah, his execution is on point.
He is
So
a
just
hard worker, yeah.
So just for everyone to understand, I mean, as non-comedians, a roast battle, as far as I understand it, is where you go against each other and you essentially roast each other. You essentially take the piss out of each other. You try and slate each other.
Yeah, it's bullying made into an art form, basically.
Yeah. So, okay, now you both did that on one night, didn't you? You did had what kind of put downs did you give Dane?
Well, look at him. I mean,
I'm an easy target.
I remember just one of the jokes when I said that Dane looks like a school shooter. Because he does.
There was more to the joke, wasn't there?
I think it's enough. I'll stop here.
Oh, brilliant. Great stuff. Okay, well, Pavlo, so could you tell us anything about your first comedy gig?
First comedy. Yeah, as I said, I'm a huge overthinker. So before I started I signed up for a first gig. I went to many shows, just watched them all. I already knew all the comedians, and just at some point so I can do better than some of them. And that was not true at the beginning, but it's like I enjoyed it very much. Somehow it went really well, and probably that's what made me stay.
Oh, that's good. And that was in Berlin, was it?
It was in Berlin. It was a show called Chuckleheads. That's my where I lost my virginity. And, yeah, it's a Deriva, pretty cool show. You should check it out.
Oh, that's good. So that's a good place to use your lose your comedy virginity there. So
Yeah.
Chuckleheads,
Absolutely. Yeah. Chuckleheads has always got a great audience. It's a good place.
You're Ukrainian, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
What's it like growing up in the Ukraine?
Not really like this.
Okay.
Because this was new when I was growing up. I'm 31 years old. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I grew up in a very small town, which now is like mostly famous after crime and drugs. But back then it was awesome.
We love crime and drugs on this show.
My childhood was great, right? But I was lucky to escape that place when I turned out 13, 14, and I became a different kind of person. Yeah.
You got any interesting childhood stories from the Ukraine?
I accidentally, actually, one story. There was like a huge gang of the little kids who were all hanging out together every day outside all day long. And one time we were like 8 to 10-year-old boys. I was always the youngest among my friends. And we found this kitten, and it was really, I don't know, it looked really sick. And we wanted to check out whether it was a boy or a girl. And we just spread the legs, and we saw there was like, I don't know, dozens or maybe hundreds of maggots eating that kitten alive. Yeah, right there where the genitals normally are, right? So we were like, how can we treat it? You know, we brought it to the veterinarian. He was like, no, I cannot do anything. And it's just like, I'll leave it to die. And we thought we are going to help this kitten. So we brought it to the lake, put it into the bag, because we thought if we...
In a bag?
Yeah, in a plastic bag. So because we thought if we drown the kitten, we'll just, help it, like, just because... save it from suffering, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
mercy killing.
Pure childhood thoughts that to help the little creature. So we put it in the plastic bag. We threw the bag into the lake, and the kitten it started floating because there was air in it, and the kitten somehow made it out of the bag. It started swimming. Apparently, cats can swim. It started swimming, and then this guy, he was working in the field by the lake. He noticed something is going on, and he thought probably that we were hurting an animal. So he started running toward. I was like, "Motherfuckers, what are you doing?" Anyway, a bunch of kids, we just ran away. So what he did, he comes to the lake. He fishes out this kitten out of the lake. He's like, "Oh, you poor creature," And then he wanted also to find out whether it's a boy or a girl. I don't know for what reason. Why he just started unwrapping this, maggot gift, and he's like, and then we stopped. We were watching him from distance, and he's like, "Oh, you poor creature," and then he's like, throws it back into the lake. So that's how it ended for the kitten and us. And
that sounds like a good representation of childhood in the Ukraine. I think we do our integration test.
Our little integration test. So the integration test is we will ask you 3 questions that we'd like to ask every one of our guests.
I like how you just straightened up for that, like you were in front of the Ausländer.
Yeah, exactly. That's an integration.
Does it rely on this? What's this?
Integration, man. I'm all, this is my mental. I got everything.
It is. We should give a trigger warning before we say the words integration test.
I'm sterilized.
Sterilized.
Yeah, I am ready to live in Germany.
Good. Well, there's simple questions that we ask all of our guests just to see how integrated you are into German culture by our standards. Context for these questions is completely up to you.
What are your standards?
You'll find out.
Well, if he's a school shooter, they're not very high.
Well, I mean, it takes a long time before you snap to a point where you... Anyway.
So, sponsored by Neukölln Bürgeramt, here are the integration questions. So the first one is, with or without bubbles?
That's a rhetorical question, I think, because when you...
In what way? Elaborate.
Please discuss.
Okay, you're talking about water?
We could well be. I think you.
Then without bubble. That's
so you got it.
Solid.
That's great.
That's a very. He's almost a German.
Yeah, he is.
Except that he went without bubbles. So not very German. Anyway, second question. Second question is Schaf, Kräuter, Knoblauch.
Alles.
Alles.
Good answer. Very good answer.
Very
I
good.
think that basically ups the -1 from the last question.
That's evening it out there.
Yeah,
This will be good stuff for the graphs.
Yeah. Good job. So the third and a final question, which I think is one of the most important questions. Have you ever been caught without a ticket?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Guilty. Yes.
Can we elaborate on that situation of when that happened?
I was late to a job interview, and it was like the last stage of a job interview. Like I've already completed 3 stages or so. Who is the last one? So it was either I do get a job or I'm not like the final stage. And I was in a hurry. I bought 4 tickets. This, the like the €9,
Classic
blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I didn't stamp any of them. So I ran into the couch, and then after 3 stops or so, they came, and I tried to play, weirdos. Like, I'm not from here. What are you talking about? I live in Magdeburg, man.
Magdeburg. Couldn't you have chosen maybe like?
It's a good choice. They might have a different.
Let's go with that. Let's roll with that. Sorry, Pavlo.
So yeah, I was trying to trick them into not giving me a ticket, but they apparently they spoke English, and they didn't have any problem with me living in Magdeburg. They were ready. They were like they like these ladies on Oranienburger Straße. They had answers to anything I say. No.
I think it was probably the first time as well that a ticket inspector has heard, I'm on my way to a job interview. I bet nobody ever says that. I know you. I'm sure that you were telling the truth.
Yeah, that was in the very last. That was my last attempt. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tell them the truth. Guys, seriously, I have 4 tickets. You can take 4 of them. I just forgot to stamp. I'm on my way to a really important. Look at me. I was wearing a shirt. I was like really well groomed, blah blah blah. And I was like, please. I know I'm already late. And nothing works with those people.
No chance.
They don't fuck around.
That's another point for the Bergkamp as well.
That is,
It's done well.
I paid my
He did pay his way at least.
Yeah.
Better than him and most of our other guests as well, I think.
And you know why? Because I did not get the job.
So it wasn't even worth it. Really.
Yeah.
You could have stayed at home.
Yeah.
And just lay in bed and been €60 richer.
Normal routine. Yeah.
Well, we can definitely note that down as a failed day, can't we?
It happens.
Right, welcome to Eat the Bag. So the aim of the game is to lift the paper bag with your mouth as many times as possible in 1 minute. So 2 rules are no hands and no knees on the ground. So, in the blue corner, weighing in at a recently discovered 80 grams, brown paper BAG. Recently defeated by Michael Hackett. Can we beat that record today? And in the red corner, we have Pavlo V. Weighing in at. Wait. How much do you weigh? 80 kilos. Let's say 80 kilos. Right. So, you understand the rules of the game? 3, 2, 1, fight! Right. So, there's the first one. That's great. Right, we need a rip. That's a quick rip there. Oh, no, it's got a little bit of right there, so we'll give you some time. Don't worry. So, and we need a clean hand. Yes.
It's not good. It's not good.
Go
Can
again.
you get it again?
Don't use your hands. No hands.
He's got it. Oh, beautifully done.
That's a lovely land there.
Beautiful.
If we get a clean rip there, we will compensate you for the time there at the end there as well. That's not an issue at all. So, can you get this one? This is the struggle. He's into struggle street.
He's got it.
Is he
Close.
going
He's done it. He's done it. Beautifully done.
That was great.
Well done.
Right, so he's got one more, and he's also still got 17 seconds. 17 seconds.
Oh, here we go. Look at this. No,
Can he land it? Can he land it?
He's done it.
50 seconds. 50
Beautiful
seconds.
work right there.
He has smashed the
Nicely done.
Hackett.
all I'm
Fucking second!
Yes.
Knocked it out of the park. So, Pavlo,
Yep.
got any shows coming up? Anything you would like to plug on our show?
I got this really cool show on March 10th at a bar called The Rattlers. The show is called Stand Up in Kreuzberg. We have a headliner from London, Radu Isa, coming to Berlin just a few days, and he's doing this free show with me. I'm opening for him. We have a very funny host, Carmen Crime. Come down, March 10th, Rattlers. Pretty cool show.
Yeah, so we'll have a link to that in the description anyway. So, yeah, so March the 10th at Radlers. Good stuff. Well,
All right, so
go on.
thanks for watching.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for smashing the bag.
Thank you guys. That was lots of fun.
Great. Well, see you next week.
Doing the stupid wave again. All right.